I learn in this letter that Don Peter of Aragon comes this night to Messina.
He is very nearby this. He was not 3 leagues off when I left him.
How many gentlemen have you lost in this action?
But few of sort, and none of name.
A victory is twice itself when the achiever brings home full numbers. I find here that Don Peter hath bestowed much honor on a young Florentine called Claudio.
And much deserved on his part, and equally remembered by Don Pedro. He hath borne himself beyond the promise of age, doing it in the figure of a lamb, the feats of a lion. He hath indeed bettered expectation than you must expect of me to tell you how.
He hath an uncle here in Messina, will be very glad of it.
I have already delivered him letters, and there appears much joy in him, even so much that joy could not show itself modest enough without a badge of bitterness.
Did he break out into tears?
In great measure.
A kind overflow of kindness. There are no faces truer than those that are so washed. How much better is it to weep at joy than to joy at weeping?
I pray, is Senor Montanto returned from the wars or no?
I know none of that name, lady. There was none such in the army of any sort.
My cousin means Senor Benedick of Padua.
Oh, he's returned, and as pleasant as ever he was.
He set up his bills here in Messina and challenged Cupid at the flight. My uncle's fool. Reading the challenge, subscribed to Cupid, and challenged him at the bird bolt. I pray you, how many hath he killed and eaten during these wars? But how many hath he killed? For indeed, I promised to eat all of his killing. Faith, niece, you tax Senor Benedick too much. But he will meet with you. I doubt it not. Well, he hath done good service, lady, in these wars. You had musty victual, and he hath hoped to eat it. He's a very valiant trencherman. He hath an excellent stomach. And a good soldier too, lady. And a good soldier to a lady, but what is he to a lord? A lord to a lord, a man to a man, stuffed with all honorable virtues.
It is so, indeed. He is no less than a stuffed man. But for the stuffing, well, we are all mortal. You must not, sir, mistake my niece. There's a kind of merry war betwixt Signor Benedick and her. They never meet, but there's a skirmish of wit between them. Alas, he gets nothing by that. In our last conflict, 4 of his 5 wits went halting off, and now the whole man is governed with 1, so that if he have enough wit to keep himself warm, let him bear it for a difference between himself and his horse. For it is all the wealth that he hath left, to be known a reasonable creature. Who is his companion now? He hath every month a new sworn brother.
Is't possible?
Very easily possible. He wears his faith as the fashion of his hat. It ever changes with the next block.
I see, lady, the gentleman is not in your books. No, and he were I would burn my study. But, I pray you, who is his companion? Is there no young squire now that will make a voyage with him to the devil? He is in the company of the right noble Claudio. Oh, Lord, he will hang upon him like a disease. He is sooner caught than a pestilence, and the taker runs presently mad. God help the noble Claudio, if he have caught the Benedick, it will cost him £1,000 ere he be cured. I will hold friends with you, lady. Do, good friend. You will never run mad, niece. No, not till hot January. Don Pedro is approached.
Hey, good Senor Leonardo! You are come to meet your trouble. The fashion of the world is to avoid cost, and you encounter it. Never came trouble to my house in the likeness of your grace. For trouble being gone, comfort should remain. But when you depart from me, sorrow abides and happiness takes his leave. Ugh, you embrace your charge too willingly. I think this is your daughter? Yea. Her mother hath many times told me. Were you in doubt, sir, that you asked her? Signor Benedick. No, for then you were a child. You have it full, Benedick. We may guess by this what you are, being a man. Truly, the lady's father's herself. Be happy, lady, for you are like an honorable father.
If Signor Leonato be her father, she would not have his head on her shoulders for all Messina, as like him she is.
I wonder that you will still be talking, Signor Benedick. Nobody mocks you.
What, my dear Lady Disdain, are you yet living?
Is it possible Disdain should die while she hath such meat food to feed it as Signor Benedick? Courtesy itself must convert to disdain if you come in her presence.
Then courtesy is a turncoat. But it is certain I am loved of all ladies, only you excepted, and I would I could find in my heart that I had not a hard heart, for truly I love none.
A dear happiness to women! They would else have been troubled with a pernicious suitor. I thank God and my cold blood. I am of your humour for that.
I had rather hear my dog bark at a crow than a man swear he loves me. God keep your ladyship still in that mind, so some gentleman or other shall scape a predestinate scratched face. Scratching could not make it worse, and 'twere such a face as yours were. Well, you're a rare parrot teacher. A bird of my tongue is better than a beast of yours. I would my horse had the speed of your tongue, and so good a continuer. But keep your way. In God's name, I have done. You always end with a jade's trick. I know you of old. This is the sum of all, Leonato. Signor Claudio, Signor Benedick, my dear friend Leonato hath invited you all. I tell him we shall stay here the least a month, and he heartily prays some occasion may detain us longer.
I swear he is no hypocrite, but prays from his heart.
If you swear, my lord, you shall not be forsworn. Let me bid you welcome, my lord. Being reconciled with the prince your brother, I owe you all duty.
I thank you. I am not of many words, but I thank you.
Please it your grace lead on.
Leonato, your hand. We will go together.
Benedict, didst thou know the daughter of Signor Leonato?
I noted her not, but I looked on her.
Is she not a modest young lady?
Do you question me, as an honest man should do, for my simple true judgment? Or would you have me speak after my custom, as being a professed tyrant to their sex?
No, I pray thee, speak in sober judgment.
Why, I feel, methinks she's far too low for high praise, too brown for fair praise, too little for great praise. The only commendation I can afford her, that were she other than she is, she were unhandsome, and being no other but as she is, I do not like her.
Thou thinkest I am in sport. I pray thee tell me how thou liked her.
Would you buy her that you inquire after her?
Can the world buy such a jewel?
Yeah, and a case to put into it. But speak you this with such a sad brow? Or do you play the flouting jack to tell us Cupid is a good hair finder and Vulcan a rare carpenter? Come, in what what key shall a man take you to go in the song?
In mine eye, she is the sweetest lady that ever I looked on.
I can see yet without spectacles, and I see no such matter. There's her cousin, and she were not possessed with a fury, exceeds her as much in beauty as the 1st of May doth the last of December. But I hope you have no intent to turn husband, have you? I would scarce trust myself, though I had sworn the contrary, if Hero would be my wife. It's come to this. In faith, hath not the world one man, but he will wear his cap with suspicion? Shall I never see a bachelor of 80 again? Go to, in faith, and thou wilt needs thrust thy neck into a yoke, wear the print of it, and sigh away Sundays. Look, Don Pedro is returned to seek you. What secret hath held you here, that you followed not to Leonato's?
I would, your grace, constrain me to tell. I charge thee on thy allegiance. You hear, Count Claudio? I can be secret as a dumb man. I would have you think so. But on my allegiance, mark you this, on my allegiance, he is in love. With who? Now that is your grace's part. Mark how short his answer is. With Hero, Leonato's short daughter. If this was so it would uttered. Like the old tale, my lord, it is not so, not was not so, but indeed, God forbid it should be so. If my passion change not shortly, God forbid it should be otherwise. Amen, if you love her, for the lady is very well worthy. You speak this to fetch me in, my lord.
By my troth, I speak my thought. And in faith, Lord, I spoke mine. And by my two faiths and troths, Lord, I spoke mine. Oh, that I love her, I feel. That she is worthy, I know. That I cannot feel how she should be loved, nor know how she should be worthy, is the opinion that fire cannot melt out of me. I will die in it at the stake. Thou wast ever an obstinate heretic in the despite of beauty, and never could maintain his part but the force of will. That a woman conceived me, I thank her. That she brought me up, I likewise give her humble thanks. But that I shall have a retreat winded into my forehead, or have my bugle hung up in an invisible baldric, all women shall pardon me.
Because I will not do them the wrong to mistrust any, I will do myself the right to trust none. And the fine is, for the which I may go the finer, I will live a bachelor.
I shall see thee, ere I die, look pale with love.
With anger, with sickness, or with hunger, my lord, not with love. Proof that ever I lose more blood with love than I will get again with drinking, pick out mine eyes with the ballad maker's pen, and hang me up at the door of a brothel house for the sign of blind Cupid.
Well, if ever thou dost fall from this faith, thou wilt prove a notable argument.
If I do, hang me in a bottle like a cat and shoot me. And he that hits me, let him be clapped on the shoulder and called Adam.
Well, as time shall try, in time the savage bull doth bear the yoke. The savage bull may, but if the sensible Benedick bear it, pluck off the bull's horns and set them in my forehead. And let me be very vilely painted, and in such great letters as they write, "Here is good horse to hire," let them signify under my sign, "Here you may see Benedick, the married man." If this should ever happen, thou shouldst be horn mad. Nay, if Cupid have not spent all his quiver in Venice, thou wilt quake for it shortly. I look for an earthquake then, too. Well, you temporize with the hours. In the meantime, good Signor Benedick, repair to Leonato's. Commend me to him, and tell him I will not fail him at supper, for he hath made Great preparation.
I have almost matter enough in me for such an embassage, and so I commit you. To the tuition of God, from my house if I had it, to the 6th of July, your loving friend, Benedict. Nay, mock not, mock not. The body of your discourse is sometime guarded with fragments, and the guards are but slightly basted on neither. Ere you flout old ends any further, examine your conscience. And so I leave you. My liege, your highness may now do me some good. My love is thine to teach. Teach it but how, and thou shalt see how apt it is to learn any hard lesson that may do thee some good. Hath Leonato any son, my lord? No child but Hero. She's his only heir. Dost thou affect her, Claudio?
Oh, my lord, when you went onward on this indirection, I looked upon her with soldier's eye, but light, but had a rougher task in hand than to drive liking to the name of love. But now I am returned, and that war thoughts have left their place vacant. In their rooms came thronging soft and delicate desires, all prompting me how fair young Hero is, saying I liked her ere I went to war.
Thou wilt be like a lover presently, and tire the hearer with a book of words. If thou dost love fair Hero, cherish it, and I will break with her and with her father, and thou shalt have her. Was it not to this end that thou beganst to twist so fine a story?
How sweetly you do minister to love, to know love's grief by his complexion. But, lest my liking might too sudden seem, I would have solved it with a longer treatise. What need the bridge much broader than the flood? The fairest grant is the necessity. Look, what will serve is fit, 'tis once thou lovest, and I will fit thee with the remedy. I know we shall have revelling tonight. I will assume thy part in some disguise, and tell fair Hero I am Claudio, and in her bosom I'll unclasp my heart, and take her hearing prisoner with the force and strong encounter of my amorous tale. Then, after to her father I will break, and the conclusion is, she shall be thine. In practice let us put it presently.
How now, sister? Where is my cousin your son? Hath he provided this music?
He's very busy about it, but brother, I can tell you strange news that you yet dreamt not of.
Are they good?
As the event stamps them, but they have a good cover and they show well outward. The prince and Count Claudio, walking in a thick pleached alley in mine orchard, were thus much overheard by a man of mine. The prince discovered to Claudio that he loved your daughter, my niece, and meant to acknowledge it this night in a dance. And if he found her accordant, he meant to take the present time by the top and instantly break with you of it.
Hath the fellow any wit that told you this?
Good sharp fellow. I will send for him, and you can question him yourself.
No. We will hold it as a dream till it appear itself. But I will acquaint my daughter withal, that she may be the better prepared for an answer, if peradventure this be true. Go you, and tell her of it. Cousins, you know what you have to do. Oh, I cry you mercy, friend. Go you with me, and I will use your skill. Good cousin, I have a care this busy time.
What the good year, my lord? Why you thus out of measure sad?
There is no measure in the occasion that breeds, therefore the sadness is without limit.
You should hear reason.
And when I have heard it, what blessing brings it?
If not a present remedy, at least a patient sufferance.
I wonder that thou, being as thou sayest thou art, born under Saturn, goest about to apply immoral medicine to a mortifying mischief. I cannot hide what I am. I must be sad when I have cause, and smile in no man's jests. Eat when I have stomach, and wait for no man's leisure. Sleep when I'm drowsy, and tend on no man's business. Laugh when I'm merry, and clown no man in his humor.
Yay. But you must not make the full show of this, till you may do it without controlment.
You have of late stood out against your brother, and he hath taken you newly to his grace. Where it is impossible, you should take true root, but by the fair weather that you make yourself. It is needful that you frame the season for your own harvest. I had rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man, it must not be denied but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog. Therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me.
Can you make no use of your discontent? I make all use of it, for I use it only. Who comes here? What news, Borachio? I came yonder from a great supper. The prince, your brother, is royally entertained by Leonardo, and I can give you intelligence of an intended marriage. Will it serve for any model to build mischief on? What is he for a fool that betroths himself to unquietness? Mary, it is your brother's right hand. Who? The most exquisite Claudio? Even he. A proper squire. And who, which way looks he? Mary, on Hero, the daughter and heir of Leonardo. A very forward march, chick. How came you to this?
Being entertained for a perfumer as I was smoking a musty room. Comes with the prince and Claudio hand in hand in sad conversation. I whipped me behind the arras, and therein I heard upon that the prince would woo Hero for himself, and having obtained her, give it to Count Claudio. Come, let us thither, this may prove fruit for my displeasure. That young startup hath all the glory of my overthrow. If I can cross him any way, I bless myself every way. You both are sure, and you will assist me? To the death, my lord! Let us to the great supper. Their cheer is greater than I am subdued. Would the cook, oh my mind. Shall we go prove what's to be done? We'll wait upon your lordship.
Was not Count John at supper?
I saw him not.
How tartly that gentleman looks. I never can see him, but I'm heartburned an hour after.
He is of a very melancholy disposition.
You are an excellent man, that were made just in the midway between him and Benedick. One is too like an image and says nothing, and the other is too like my lady's eldest son, evermore tattling.
Then half Signor Benedick's tongue in Count John's mouth, and half Count John's melancholy in Signor Benedick's face.
With a good leg and a good foot, uncle, and money enough in his purse, such a man would win any woman in the world.
Aww.
If he could get her goodwill.
By my troth, niece, thou wilt never get thee a husband if thou be so shrewd of thy tongue. I' faith, she's too cursed.
Too cursed is more than cursed.
I shall lessen God's sending that way. For it is said, God sends a cursed cow short horns, but to a cow too cursed, he sends none.
So, by being too cursed, God will send you no horns.
Just if he send me no husband. For the which blessing I am at him upon my knees every morning and evening. Lord, I could not endure a husband with a beard on his face. I had rather lie in the woolen.
You may light on a husband that hath no beard.
What should I do with him? Dress him in my apparel and make him my waiting gentlewoman?
Quien tiene barba es más que un mancebo, y el que carece de ella, menos que un hombre. Si es más que un mancebo, es mucho hombre para mí, y si es menos que hombre, soy yo mucha mujer para él. Por consiguiente, prefiero 6 peniques de arras del guardaosos y conducir sus monos al infierno. Bueno, entonces, ¿irás al infierno? No, si no está a la puerta. Allí me saldrá al encuentro el diablo, quien con sus cuernos en la cabeza, como un viejo cornudo, me dirá: anda al cielo, Beatriz, anda al cielo. Aquí no hay sitio para doncellas como tú. Entonces yo le dejaré mis monos y me encaminaré al cielo en busca de San Pedro. Él me enseñará dónde se sientan los solterones y allí viviremos tan dichosos cuán largo es el día.
Well, niece, I trust you will be ruled by your father.
Yes, faith, it is my cousin's duty to make curtsy and say, Father, as it please you. And yet for all that, cousin, let him be a handsome fellow, or else make another curtsy and say, Father, as it please me.
Well, niece, I hope to one day see you fitted with a husband.
Not till God make men of some other metal than earth. Would it not grieve a woman to be overmastered with a piece of valiant dust, to make an account of her life to a clod of wayward marl? No, uncle, I'll none. Adam's sons are my brethren, and truly I hold it a sin to match with my kindred.
Daughter, remember what I told you. If the prince do solicit you in that kind, you know your answer.
The fault will be in the music, cousin, if you be not wooed in good time. If the prince be too important, tell him there is measure in everything, and so dance out the answer. For hear me, hero, wooing, wedding, and repenting is as a Scotch jig, a measure, and a sink pace. The first suit is hot and hasty like a Scotch jig, and full as fantastical. The wedding, mannerly modest, as a measure full of state and ancientry. And then comes repentance, and with his bad legs falls into the sink pace faster and faster, till he sink into his grave. Oh, cousin, you apprehend passing shrewdly. I have a good eye, uncle. I can see a church by daylight. The revellers are entering, brother. Make good room.
Lady, will you walk about with your friend?
So you walk softly, and look sweetly, and say nothing? I am yours for the walk, and especially when I walk away.
With me in your company?
I may say so, when I please.
And when please you to say no?
When I like your favour, for God forbid the lute should be like the case.
My visor is Philemon's roof. Within the house is Jove.
Why then your visor should be thatched.
Speak low if you speak love.
Well, I would you did like me. So would not I. For your own sake, I have many ill qualities. Which is one? I say my prayers aloud.
I love you the better. The hearers may cry, Amen.
God, match me with a good dancer.
Amen.
And God, keep him out of my sight when the dance is done. Answer, clerk.
No more words. The clerk is answered.
I know you well enough. You are Signor Antonio.
At a word, I am not.
I know you by the waggling of your head.
To tell you true, I counterfeit him.
You could never do him so ill well unless you were the very man. Here's his dry hand up and down. You are he. You are he.
At a word, I am not.
Come, come. Do you think I do not know you by your excellent wit? Can virtue hide itself? Go to, Mum. You are he. Graces will appear, and there's an end.
Will you not tell me who told you so? No, you shall pardon me. Now will you not tell me who you are? Not now. What's he? I am sure you know him well enough. Not I. Believe me. Did he never make you laugh? I pray you, well, what is he? Why, he is the prince's jester, a very dull fool. Only his gift is in devising impossible slanders. None but libertines delight in him. And commendation is not in his wit, but in his villainy.
For he both pleases men and angers them, and then they laugh at him and beat him. I am sure he is in the fleet. I would he had boarded me. When I know the gentleman, I'll tell him what you say. Do. He'll but break a comparison or two on me, which, peradventure, not marked or not laughed at, strikes him into melancholy, and there's a partridge wing saved. For the fool will eat no supper that night. We must follow the leaders in every good thing. Nay, if they lead to any ill, I'll leave them at the next turning. Sure, my brother is amorous on Hero, and hath withdrawn her father to break with him about it. The ladies follow her, and but one visor remains.
And that is Claudio. I know him by his bearing.
Are you not Signor Benedick?
You know me well. I am he.
Senor, you are very near my brother in his love. He is enamored on Hero. I pray you, dissuade him from her. She is no equal for his birth. You may do the part of an honest man in it.
How know you he loves her?
I heard him swear his affection.
So did I too, and he swore he would marry her. Tonight!
Come, let us to the banquet. Thus answer I in the name of Benedick, but hear these ill truths with the ears of Claudio. 'Tis certain so. The prince woos for himself. Friendship is constant in all other things, save in the office and affairs of love. Therefore, all hearts in love use their own tongues.
Let every eye negotiate for itself, and trust no agent. For beauty is a witch, against whose charms faith melteth into blood. This is an accident of hourly proof, which I mistrusted not. Farewell, therefore, Hero. Count Claudio? Yea, the same. Come, will you go with me? Whither? Even to the next willow, about your own business, County. What fashion will you wear the garland of? About your neck like a usurer's chain, or under your arm like a lieutenant's scarf? You must wear it one way, for the prince hath got your Hero. I wish him joy of her. Why, that spoke like an honest drovier, so they sell bullocks. But did you think the prince would have served you thus? I pray you leave me.
Oh, now you strike like the blind man. 'Twas the boy that stole your meat, and you'll beat the post.
If it will not be, I'll leave you.
Alas, poor hurt fowl. Now will he creep into sedges. But that my lady Beatrice should know me and not know me. The prince's fool?
It may be I go under that title because I am merry. Yea, but I am so apt to do myself wrong. I am not so reputed. It is the base though bitter disposition of Beatrice that puts the world into her person and so gives me out. Well, I'll be revenged as I may.
Signor, have you seen the Count? Where is he?
Troth, my lord, I have played the part of Lady Fame.
I found him here, as melancholy as a lodge in a warren. I told him, and I think I told him true, that your grace got the goodwill of this young lady, and I offered him my company to a willow tree, either to make him a garland as being forsaken, or to bind him up a rod as being worthy to be wit. To be wit, what's his fault? The flat transgression of a schoolboy who, being overjoyed with finding a bird's nest, showed it his companion, and he steals it. Will thou make a trusted transgression? The transgression is in the stealer. Yet it had not been amiss the rod had been made, and the garland too, for the garland he might have worn himself, and the rod he might have bestowed upon you, who, as I take it, have stolen his bird's nest.
I will but teach them to sing, and restore them to the owner. If their singing answer your saying, by my faith, you say honestly. The Lady Beatrice hath a quarrel to you. The gentleman that danced with her told her she is much wronged by you. Oh, she misused me past the endurance of a block. An oak, but with one green leaf on it, would have answered her. My very visor began to assume life and scold with her. She told me, not thinking I had been myself, that I was the prince's jester, that I was duller than a great thaw, huddling jest upon jest, with such impossible conveyance upon me I stood like a man at a mark, with a whole army shooting at me.
She speaks poniards, and every word stabs. If her breath were as terrible as her terminations, there were no living near her. She would infect to the North Star. I would not marry her, though she were endowed with all that Adam had left him before he transgressed. She would have made Hercules have turned spit, yea, and have cleft his club to make the fire too. Come, talk not of her. She is the infernal Atay in good apparel. I would to God some scholar would conjure her. For certainly, while she is here, a man may live as quiet in hell as in a sanctuary. And people sin upon purpose, because they would go thither. So, indeed, all disquiet, horror, and perturbation follows her.
Look, here she comes. Will your grace command me any service to the world's end? I will go on the slightest errand now to the antipodes that you can devise to send me on. I will fetch you a toothpicker now from the furthest inch of Asia. Bring you the length of Prester John's foot. Fetch you a hair off the great Cham's beard. Do you have any embassage to the pygmies, rather than hold 3 words conference with this harpy? You have no employment for me? None but to desire your good company. Oh God, sir, here's a dish I love not. I cannot endure my lady tongue. Come, lady, come. You have lost the heart of Signor Benedick.
Indeed, my lord, he lent it me a while, and I gave him use of it, a double heart for his single one. Marry, once, before he won it of me with false dice. Therefore your grace may well say I have lost it. You have put him down, lady, you have put him down. So I would nor should he do me, my lord, lest should I prove the mother of fools. I have brought Count Claudio, whom you sent me to seek. Why, how now, Count? Wherefore are you sad? Not sad, my lord. How then, sick? Neither, my lord. The Count is neither sad nor sick, nor merry nor well, but civil, Count, civil as an orange and something of a jealous complexion.
I' faith, lady, I think your blazon to be true, though I'll be sworn, if he be so, his conceit is false. Here, Claudio, I have wooed in thy name, and fair hero is won. I have broke with her father, and his good will obtained. Name the day of marriage, and God give thee joy. Count, take me of my daughter, and with her my fortunes. His grace hath made the match, and grace say amen to it. Speak, Count, 'tis your cue. Silence is the perfectest herald of joy. I were but little happy if I could say how much. Lady, as you are mine, I am yours. I give away myself for you, and dote upon the exchange. Speak, cousin, or if you cannot, stop his mouth with a kiss, and let not him speak neither.
Yea, my lord, and I thank it, poor fool. Keeps on the windy side of care. My cousin tells him in his ear that he is in her heart. Good lord for alliance. And thus goes everyone to the world, but I am sunburned. I may sit in a corner and cry, hey ho for a husband. I'd rather have one of your father's getting. Have your grace near a brother like you? Your father got excellent husbands if a maid could come by them. No, my lord, unless I might have another for working days. Your grace is too costly to wear every day, but I beseech your grace, pardon me. I was born to speak all mirth and no matter.
Your silence most offends me, and to be merry best becomes you, for out of question you were born in a merry hour. No, sure, my lord, my mother cried, but then there was a star dance, and under that I was born. Cousins, give you joy. Niece, will you look to those things I told you of? I cry you mercy, uncle. By your grace's pardon. By my troth, a pleasant, spirited lady. There's little of the melancholy element in her, my lord. She is never sad but when she sleeps, and not even sad then. For I have heard my daughter say she hath often dreamed of unhappiness, and waked herself with laughing. She cannot endure to hear tell of a husband.
Oh, by no means! She mocks all her wooers out of suit. She were an excellent wife for Benedict. Oh, Lord, my lord, if they were but a week married, they would talk themselves mad! County Claudio, when mean you to go to church? Tomorrow, my lord. Time goes on crutches till love has all his rights. Not till Monday, my dear son, which is hence just 7 night, and a time too brief, too, to have all things answer my mind. Come, you shake the head at so long a breathing, but I warrant thee, Claudio, the time shall not go dully by us. I will in the interim undertake one of Hercules' labors, which is to bring Signor Benedick and the Lady Beatrice into a mountain of affection the one with the other. I would fain have it a match, and I doubt not but to fashion it, if you 3 will but minister such assistance as I shall give you direction.
My lord, I am for you, though it cost me 10 nights' watchings. And I, my lord. And you too, gentle hero.
I will do any modest office, my lord, to have my cousin to a good husband.
And Benedick is not the unhopefulest husband that I know. Thus far I can praise him. He is of noble strain, of approved valor, and confirmed honesty. I will teach you how to humor your cousin, that she shall fall in love with Benedick. And I, with your 2 helps, will so practice on Benedick that, in despite of his quick wit and his queasy stomach, he shall fall in love with Beatrice. If we could do this, Cupid is no longer an archer. His glory shall be ours, for we are the only love gods. Go in with me, and I will tell you my drift.
It is so. The Count Claudio shall marry the daughter of Leonardo.
Yea, my lord, but I can cross it.
Any bar, any cross, any impediment will be medicinable to me. I am sick in displeasure to him, and whatsoe'er comes athwart his affection ranges evenly with mine. How canst thou cross this marriage?
Not honestly, my lord, but so covertly that no dishonesty shall appear in me.
Show me briefly how.
I think I told your lordship a year since how much I am in the favor of Margaret. The waiting gentlewoman to Hero?
I remember.
I can, at any unseasonable instant of the night, appoint her to look out at her lady's chamber window.
What life is in that, to be the death of this marriage?
Well, the poison of that lies in you to temper.
Go you to the prince your brother. Spare not to tell him that he has wronged his honor in marrying the renowned Claudio, whose estimation do you mightily hold up to a contaminated stale, such a one as Helen.
What proof shall I make of that?
Proof enough to misuse the prince, to vex Claudio, to undo Hero and kill Leonato. Look you for any other issue?
Only to despite them. I will endeavor anything.
Go then. Find me a meet hour to draw Don Pedro and the Count Claudio alone. Tell them that you know that Hero loves me. Intend a kind of zeal both to the prince and Claudio, as in love of your brother's honor, who has made this match, and his friend's reputation, who is thus like to be cousin with a semblance of maid, then you have discovered thus.
They will scarcely believe this without trial. Offer them instances which shall bear no less likelihood than to see me at her chamber window, hear me call Margaret Hero, hear Margaret term me Claudio, and bring them to see this the very night before the intended wedding. For in the meantime I will so fashion the matter that Hero shall be absent, and there shall appear such seeming truth of Hero's disloyalty that jealousy shall be called assurance, and all the preparation o'erthrown.
Grow this, to what adverse issue it can, I will put it in practice. Be cunning in the working this, and thy fee is 1,000 ducats.
Be you constant in the accusation, and my cunning shall not shame me.
I will presently go learn the day of their marriage.
Boy, Signor, in my chamber window there lies a book. Bring it hither to me in the orchard. I am here already, sir. I know that, but I would have thee hence and here again. I do much wonder that one man, seeing how much another man is a fool, when he hath laughed at such shallow follies in others, become the argument of his own scorn by falling in love. Such a man is Claudio. I have known when there was no music in him but the drum and the fife, and now he rather hear the tabor and the pipe. I have known when he would have walked 10 miles afoot to see a good armour, and now he will lie 10 nights awake carving the fashion of a new doublet.
He was wont to speak plain and to the purpose, like an honest man and a soldier. And now is he turned orthography? His words are a very fantastical banquet, but so many strange dishes. May I be so converted and see these eyes? I cannot tell. I think not. I will not be sworn, but love may transform me to an oyster. But I will make an oath of it, till he have made an oyster of me, he shall never make me such a fool. One woman is fair, yet I am well. Another wise, yet I am well. Another virtuous, yet I am well. Till all the graces be in one woman shall not come in my grace.
Rich she shall be, that's certain. Wise, or I'll none. Virtuous, or I'll never cheapen. Fair, or I'll never look on her. Mild, or come not near me. Noble, or not I for an angel. Good discourse, an excellent musician, and her hair shall be of what color pleases God. Here's the prince and the sheer love. I'll hide me in the arbor.
Come, shall we see this music?
Yea, my good lord, how still the evening is, as hushed on purpose to grace harmony.
See you where Benedick has hid himself?
Oh, very well, my lord. The music has ended. We'll fix the kitch box with a pennyworth.
Come, Balthazar, we shall hear that song again.
Oh, good my lord, tax not so bad a voice to slander music any more than once. It is the witness still of excellency to put a strange face on his own perfection. I pray thee, sing, and let me woo no more. Because you talk of wooing, I will sing, since many a wooer doth commence his suit to her he thinks not worthy, yet he woos, yet will he swear he loves. Now pray thee come, or if thou wilt hold longer argument, do it in notes. Note this before my notes, there's not a note of mine that's worth the noting. Why, these are very crotchets that he speaks. Notes, forsooth, and nothing. Now, divine air, now is his soul ravished. Is it not strange that sheep guts should hale souls out of men's bodies? Well, a horn for my money when all's done.
Sigh no more, ladies, sigh no more. Men were deceivers ever, one foot in sea and one on shore, to one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your songs of woe to hey nonny nonny. Sing no more ditties, ladies, sing no more of dumps so dull and heavy. The fraud of man was ever so, since summer first was leafy. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe to hey nonny nonny. By my troth, a good song, and an ill singer, my lord. No, Faith, thou singest well enough for a shift.
And had he been a dog that should have howled thus, they would have hanged him. And I pray God his bad voice bode no mischief. I had as lief heard the night raven come what plague could have come after it.
Yea, Mary, dost thou hear, Balthazar? I pray thee get us some excellent music for tomorrow night. We would have it at the Lady Hero's chamber window.
The best I can, my lord.
Do so. Farewell. Come hither, Leonardo. Was it you told me of today that your niece Beatrice was in love with Signor Benedick?
Oh, aye. Stuck on, the foul sits. I did never think that lady would have loved any man.
No, nor I neither, but most wonderful she should dote on Signor Benedick, whom she hath in all outward behavior seemed ever to abhor.
Is't possible? Sits the wind in that favor?
By my troth, my lord, I cannot tell what to think of it, but that she loves him with an enraged affection. It is past the infinite of thought.
Maybe she doth but counterfeit. Faith, like enough.
Oh God, counterfeit? There was never counterfeit.
became so near the life of passion as she discovers it.
Why? What effects of passion shows she?
Bait the hook well. This fish will bite.
What effects, my lord? She will sit you. You heard my daughter tell you how.
She did indeed.
How, pray you? You amaze me. I would have thought her spirit had been invincible against all assaults of affection.
I would have sworn it had, my lord, especially against Benedick.
I should think this is a go. But that the white-bearded fellow speaks it, knavery cannot sure hide himself in such reverence. He hath taken the infection. Hold it up. Has she made her affection known to Benedick?
No, and swears she never will. That's her torment.
'Tis true, indeed. So your daughter says. Shall I, says she, that has so often countered him with scorn, write to him that I love him?
This says she now when she is beginning to write to him, for she'll be up 20 times a night. And there will she sit in her smock till she had writ a sheet of paper. My daughter tells us all.
Now you talk of a sheet of paper. I remember a pretty jest your daughter told us of.
Oh, when she had writ it and was reading it over, she found Beatrice and Benedick between the sheets.
That.
Oh, she tore the letter into 1,000 halfpence, railed at herself that she should be so immodest, to write to one that she knew would flout her. I measure him, she says, by mine own spirit, for I should flout him if he writ to me. Yea, though I love him, I should.
Then down upon her knees she falls, weeps, sobs, beats her heart, tears her hair, prays, curses. Oh, sweet Benedick, God, give me patience.
She doth indeed. My daughter says so, and the ecstasy hath so much overborne her that my daughter is sometimes afeard that she will do desperate outrage to herself. It's very true.
'Twere good if Benedick hear from it from some other, if she will not discover it. To what end? He will but make a sport of it and torment the poor lady worse. And if he should, that were alms to hang him. She is an excellent sweet lady, and above all suspicion she is virtuous, and she is exceeding wise, in everything but in loving Benedick. Oh, my lord, wisdom and blood conflicting in the same tender body. We have 10 proofs to 1 that blood hath the victory. I am sorry for her, I having just cause, being her uncle and her guardian. I wish she had bestowed her dotage upon me. I would have daffed all respects to make her half myself. Oh! I pray you, tell Benedick of it and hear what it will say.
Were't good, think you?
Hero thinks surely she will die. For she says she will die if he love her not. And she will die ere she make her love known. And she will die if he woo her, rather than she will bate one breath of her accustomed crossness.
She doth well. If she should make tender of her love, 'tis very possible he'll scorn it, for the man, as you know all, hath a contemptible spirit.
He is a very proper man.
He hath indeed a good outward happiness.
Before God, and, in my mind, very wise.
He doth indeed show some sparks that are like wit.
And I take him to be valiant.
As Hector, I assure you. And in the managing of quarrels, you might say he is wise, for he avoids them with great discretion, or undertakes them with Christian-like fear.
If he do fear God, he must necessarily keep the peace. If he breaks the peace,
He ought to enter into it with fear and trembling.
Oh, and so will he do, for the man doth fear God, even though it seem not by some large jest he makes. Well, I do feel sorry for your niece. Shall we go find Benedick and tell him of her love?
Oh, never tell him, my lord. Let her wear it out with good counsel.
Nay, it's impossible. She shall wear her heart out first.
Well, we shall hear further of it from your daughter. Let it cool the while.
I love Benedick well, and I wish he would modestly examine himself to see how much he is unworthy so good a lady. My lord, will you walk? Dinner is ready. If you do not dote on her upon this, I will never trust my expectation. Let there be the same net spread for her that your daughter and her gentlewoman carry. The sport will be when they hold one an opinion of another's dotage and no such matter. That's the scene that I will see, which will be merely a dumb show. Let us send her to call him in for dinner. This can be no trick. The conference was sadly born. They heard the truth of it from Hero.
They seem to pity the lady. It seems her affections have their full bent. Love me? Why, it must be requited. I hear how I am censured. They say I will bear myself proudly if I perceive the love come from her. They say, too, that she will rather die than give any sign of affection. I did never think to marry. I must not seem proud. Happy are they that hear their detractions and can put them to mending. They say the lady is fair. 'Tis a truth, I can bear them witness. And virtuous, 'tis so, I cannot reprove it. And wise, but for loving me. By my troth, it is no addition to her wit, nor no great argument of her folly, for I will be horribly in love with her.
I may chance have some odd crux and remnants of wit broken me, because I have railed so long against marriage. But doth not appetite alter? A man loves the meat of his youth that he cannot endure in his age. Shall quimps and sentences and those paper bullets of the brain awe a man from the career of his humour? No, the world must be peopled. When I said I would die a bachelor, I did not think I will live till I were married. Here comes Beatrice. By this day she is a fair lady. I do spy some locks of love in her. Against my will, I am sent to bid you come to dinner.
Fair Beatrice, I thank you for your pains. I took no more pains for those thanks than you take pains to thank me. If it had been painful, I would not have come. You take pleasure, then, in the message. Yea, just so much as you may take upon a knife's point and choke a doll withal. You have no stomach, signor. Fare you well. Ha! Against my will, I am set to bid you come in to dinner. There's a double meaning in that. I took no more pains for those thanks than you took pains to thank me. That's as much to say, any pains that I take for you is as easy as thanks. If I do not take pity of her, I am a villain. If I do not love her, I am a fool. I will go get her picture.
Good Margaret, run thee to the parlour. There thou shalt find my cousin Beatrice proposing with the prince and Claudio. Whisper her ear and tell her, I and Ursula walk in the orchard, and our whole discourse is all of her. Say that thou overheardst us, and bid her steal into the pleated bower, where honeysuckles, ripened by the sun, forbid the sun to enter, like favorites, made proud by princes that advance their pride against that power that bred it. There will she hide her, to listen our purpose. This is thy office.
Bear thee well in it, and leave us alone.
I'll make her come. I warrant you presently.
Now, Ursula, when Beatrice doth come, as we do trace this alley up and down, our talk must only be of Benedick.
When I do name him, let it be thy part, to praise him more than ever man did merit. My talk to thee must be how Benedick is sick in love with Beatrice. Of this matter is little Cupid's crafty arrow made, that only wounds by hearsay. Now begin, for look where Beatrice, like her lapwing, runs close by the ground to hear our conference. The pleasant angling is to see the fish cut with her golden oars the silver stream, and greedily devour the treacherous bait. So anger we for Beatrice, who even now is couched within the woodbine coverture. Fear you not my part of the dialogue. Then go we near her, that her ear lose nothing of the full sweet bait that we lay for it.
No, truly, Ursula, she is too disdainful. I know her spirits are as coy and wild as haggards of the rock.
But are you sure that Benedick loves Beatrice so entirely?
So says the prince and my betrothed lord.
And did they bid you tell her of it, madam?
They did entreat me to acquaint her of it, but I persuaded them, if they loved Benedick, to wish him wrestle with affection, and never to let Beatrice know of it.
Oh, why did you so? Doth not the gentleman deserve as full as fortunate a bed as ever Beatrice shall couch upon?
God of love, I know he doth deserve as much as may be yielded to a man, but nature never framed a woman's heart of prouder stuff than that of Beatrice.
Disdain and scorn ride sparkling in her eyes, misprizing what they look on, and her wit values itself so highly that to her all matter else seems weak. She cannot love, nor take no shape nor project of affection. She is so self-endeared. Ah! Sure, I think so. Hey! And therefore, certainly it were not good she knew his love, lest she make sport at it. Why, you speak truth. I never yet saw a man how wise, how noble, young, how rarely featured, but she would spell him backward. If fair-faced, she would swear the gentleman should be her sister. If black-white, nature, drawing of an antic, made a foul blot. If tall, a lance ill-headed.
If low, an agate vilely crushed. If speaketh, why, it's like a vein blown by every wind. If silent, why, a blot that is moved by none. Thus she turns every man wrong side out, and has none of the truth or virtue which simplicity and merit doth obtaineth. Sure, such carping is not commendable. No, to be so at odds and of all fashions as Beatrice is not commendable. But who should tell her? If I should speak to her, why, she would mock me or the air and laugh at me until I was outside of myself. She would ply me with death with truth. No. Therefore, Benedick must, like a covered fire, be consumed with sighs and waste away. 'Tis a better death than to be mocked, which is much the same as dying by tickling. But speak to her. See what she has to say.
No, rather I will go to Benedick and counsel him to fight against his passion, and truly I'll devise some honest slanders to stain my cousin with. One does not know how much an ill word may empoison liking. Oh, do not do your cousin such a wrong. She cannot be so much without true judgment, having so swift and excellent a wit as she is prized to have, as to refuse so rare a gentleman as Signor Benedick. He is the only man of Italy, always, excepted my dear Claudio. I pray you, be not angry with me, madame, speaking my fancy. Signor Benedick, for shape, for bearing, argument, and valor, goes foremost in report through Italy. Indeed, he hath an excellent good name. His excellence did earn it, ere he had it. When are you married, madame?
Why, every day tomorrow. Come, go in. I'll show thee some attires and have thy counsel which is the best to furnish me tomorrow. She's limed, I warrant you. We have caught her, madam. If it proves so, then loving goes by haps. Some Cupid kills with arrows, some with traps. What fire is in mine ears? Can this be true? Stand I condemned for pride and scorn so much? Contempt, farewell, and maiden pride, adieu. No glory lives behind the back of such, and Benedick, love on, I will requite thee, taming my wild heart to thy loving hand. If thou dost love, my kindness shall incite thee to bind our loves up in a holy band. For others say thou dost deserve, and I believe it better than reportingly.
I do but stay until your marriage be consummate, and then go I towards Aragon.
I'll bring you thither, my lord, if thou vouchsafe me.
Nay, that would be as great a soil in the new gloss of your marriage as to show a child his new coat and forbid him to wear it. I will only be bold with Benedict for his company, for from the crown of his head to the sole of his foot, he is all mirth. He hath twice or thrice cut Cupid's bowstring, and the little hangman dared not shoot at him. He hath a heart as sound as a bell, and his tongue is the clapper. For what his heart thinks, his tongue speaks.
Gallants, I am not as I have been.
So say I. Methinks you are sadder.
I hope ye be in love.
Hang him, truant. There is no true drop of blood in him to be truly touched with love. If he be sad, he wants money. I have the toothache. Draw it. Hang it. You must hang it first and draw it afterwards. What? Sign for the toothache? Where there is but a humour or a worm. Well, everyone can master grief, but he that has it. Yet I say, he is in love. There is no appearance of fancy in him, unless it be a fancy that he hath to strange disguises, as to be a Dutchman today, a Frenchman tomorrow, or in the shape of two countries at once, as a German from the waist downward, all slops, and a Spaniard from the hip upward, no doublet.
Unless he have a fancy to this foolery, as it appears he hath, he is no fool for fancy, as you would have it appear he is. If he be not in love with some woman, there is no believing old signs. He brushes his hat in mornings, what is that bode? Hath any man seen him at the barber's? No, but the barber's man hath been seen with him, and the old ornament of his cheek hath already stuffed tennis balls. Indeed, he looks younger than he did, by the loss of a beard, eh? Nay, he rubs himself with civet. Can you smell him out by that? That's as much to say the sweet youth's in love. The greatest note of it is his melancholy. And when was he wont to wash his face?
Yea, or to paint himself, for the which I hear what they say of him. Nay, but his jesting spirit, which is now crept into a lute string and now governed by stops. Indeed, that tells a heavy tale for him. Conclude, he is in love. Nay, but I know who loves him. That would I know too, I warrant one that knows him not. Yes, in his ill conditions, and in spite of all, dies for him. She shall be buried with her face upwards. Yet is this no term for the toothache? Old Signora, walk aside with me. I have studied 8 or 9 wise words to speak to you, which these hobby horses must not hear. For my love to break with him about Beatrice.
'Tis even so. Hero and Margaret have by this played their parts with Beatrice, and then the two bears will not bite one another when they meet. My lord and brother, God save you. Good den, brother. If your leisure served, I would speak with you. In private, if it please you, yet Count Claudio may hear, for what I would speak of concerns him. What's the matter? Means your lordship to be married tomorrow. You know he does. I know not that when he knows what I know. If there be any impediment, I pray you discover it. You may think I love you not. Let that appear hereafter, and aim better at me by that I know now will manifest. For my brother, I think he holds you well, and in dearness of heart hath holp to effect your ensuing marriage. Surely suit I'll spend, and labour I'll bestowed.
Why? What's the matter?
I came hither to tell you, and circumstances shortened, for she has been too long a talking of. The lady is disloyal.
Who? Hero?
Even she, Leonato's hero, your hero, everybody's hero.
Disloyal?
The word is too good to paint out her wickedness. I could say she were worse. Think you of a worse name, and I'll fit her to it. Wonder not till further warned. Go but with me tonight. You shall see her chamber window entered, even the night before her wedding day. If you love her then, tomorrow wed her. But it would better fit your honor to change your mind.
May this be so?
I will not think it. If you do not trust that you see, confess not that you know. If you will follow me, I will show you enough. And when you have seen more and heard more, proceed accordingly. If I see anything tonight why I should not marry her tomorrow, in the congregation where I should wed, there will I shame her. And as I wooed for thee to obtain her, I will join with thee to disgrace her. I will disparage her no further till you are my witnesses. Bear it coldly but till midnight, and let the issue show itself. Oh, day untowardly turned! Oh, mischief strangely thwarting! Oh, plague right well prevented! So will you say when you have seen the sequel.
Are you good men and true? Yea, or else it were pity, but they should suffer salvation, body and soul. Nay, that were punishment too good for them if they should have any allegiance in them, being chosen for the prince's watch. Give them their charge, neighbor dog there. First, who think you the most deserveless man to be constable? Hugh O'Cake, sir, or George Seacole, for they can write and read. Come hither, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favoured man is the gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature. Both wish, Master Constable.
You have. I knew it would be your answer. Well, for your favour, sir, why, give God thanks, and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear when there is no need of such vanity. You are thought here to be the most senseless and fit man for the constable of the watch. Therefore, bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrom men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name. How if a will not stand? Why then take no note of him, but let him go, and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave. He will not stand when he is bidden. He's none of the prince's subjects.
True, and they are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. They shall also make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and to talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will rather sleep than talk. We know what belongs to a watch.
Why, you speak like an ancient and most quiet watchman, for I cannot see how sleeping shall offend. Only have a care that your bills are not stolen. Where you are to call at all the alehouses, and bid those that are drunk get them to bed.
How if they will not?
Why then, let them alone till they are sober. If they make you not the better answer, you may say that they are not the men you took them for.
Well, sir.
If you meet a thief, you may suspect him by virtue of your office to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle or make with them, why, the more is for your honesty.
If we know him to be a thief, shall we not lay hands on him?
Truly, by your office, you may, but I think they that touch pitch will be defiled. The most peaceable way for you, if you do take a thief, is to let him show himself for what he is and steal out of your company.
You have been always called a merciful man, partner.
And truly, I would not hang a dog by my will, much more a man who hath any honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, you must call to the nurse and bid her still it.
How if the nurse be asleep and will not hear us?
Why then, depart in peace, and let the child wake her with crying. For the ewe that will not hear her lamb when it bays will never answer a calf when he bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of the charge. You, constable, if you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, byre lady, that I think I cannot.
5 shillings to 1 aunt, with any man that knows the statutes. He may stay him. Marry, not without the prince be willing, for indeed the watch ought to offend no man, and it is an offense to stay a man against his will.
Byre lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. Oh, and there be any matter of weight chances, call up me. Oh, keep your fellows' counsels and your own. Good night. Come, neighbor. Oh.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let us go sit here upon the church bench till 2, and then all to bed.
One more word, honest neighbors. I pray you watch about Signor Leonardo's door. For the wedding being there tomorrow, there is a great coil tonight. Adieu, be vigilant, I beseech you.
What, Conrad? Peace, stir not. Conrad, I say.
Here, man, I at thy elbow. Mass and my elbow itched. I thought there would be a scab follow.
I will owe thee an answer. And now forward thy tale.
Stand thee close, then, under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain, and I will, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treasons, masters, stand close. Therefore know I have earned of Don John 1,000 ducats. Is it possible that any villainy be so dear? Thou should rather ask if any villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need of poor ones may make what price they will. I wonder at it. That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that The fashion of a doublet or a hat or a cloak is nothing to a man. Yes, it is apparel. I mean the fashion. Yes, the fashion is the fashion. Tush, I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what a deformed thief this fashion is?
I know that deformed has been a vile thief this 7 year. Goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name. Didst thou not hear somebody? No, 'twas a maid on the house. Seest thou not, I say, what a deformed thief this fashion is? How giddily it turns about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30, sometimes fashioning them like Pharaoh's soldiers in the Riki painting, sometime like God Bel's priests in the old church window, sometime like the shaven Hercules in the smirched worm-eaten tapestry, where his codpiece seems as massy as his club. All this I see, and I see that the fashion wears out more apparel than the gentleman. But art not thou thyself giddy with the fashion too, that thou hast shifted out of thy tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so, neither. But know that I have tonight wooed Margaret, the Lady Hero's gentlewoman, by the name of Hero. She leans me out at her mistress's chamber window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I should first tell thee how the prince, Claudio, and my master, planted and placed and possessed by my master, Don John, saw afar off in the orchard this amiable encounter, and thought they Margaret was Hero? 2 of them did, the prince and Claudio, but the devil my master knew she was Margaret, and partly by his oaths, which first possessed them, partly by the dark night, which did deceive them, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Don John had made. Away went Claudio enraged.
Swore he would meet her, as he was appointed, next day at the temple, and there, before the whole congregation, shame her with what he saw o'ernight, and send her home without a husband.
We charge you when the prince remains stand!
Call up the right master constable. We have here recovered the most dangerous piece of luxury ever was known in the Commonwealth.
And one deformed. He one of them. I know him. He wears a rock. Masters! Masters!
Oh, you'll be made bring deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters! Never thief. We charge you. Let us obey you to go with us.
We are like to prove a goodly commodity being taken up of these men's bills.
A commodity in question. I will answer you. Come on, we obey you.
Good Ursula, wake my cousin Beatrice. Oh, and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
Oh, and bid her to come hither.
Well... Troth, I think your other rabata were better.
No, pray thee, good Meg, I'll wear this.
By my troth's not so good, and I'll warrant your cousin will say so.
My cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this.
I like the new tire within excellently. If the hair were thought browner, and your gown's a most rare fashion in faith. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown that they praise so.
Oh, that exceeds, they say.
By my troth, it is but a nightgown in respect of yours. Cloth of gold, and cuts, laced with silver, set with pearls, down sleeves, side sleeves, and skirts, round underborne with a bluish tinsel. But for a fine, quaint, graceful, and excellent fashion, yours is worth 10 on't. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceeding heavy. 'Twill be heavier soon by the weight of a man. Fie upon thee! Art not ashamed? Of what, lady? of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband.
And bad thinking do not rest true speaking. I'll offend nobody. Is any harm in the heavier for a husband? None, I think, and it be the right husband and the right wife. Otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. Ask my Lady Beatrice, else here she comes. Good morrow, coz. Good morrow, sweet hero. Why, how now do you speak in this sick tune? I am out of all other tune, methinks. Clapped into the light of love that goes without a burden, do you sing it, and I'll dance it? Yea, light of love, with your heels then, if your husband have stables enough, you'll see he shall lack no barns.
Ugh, illegitimate construction. I scorn that with my heels. 'Tis almost 5 o'clock, cousin. 'Tis time you were ready. By my troth, I am exceeding ill. Hi-ho. For a hawk, a horse, or a husband, for the letter that begins them all, H. Well, and you be not turned, Turk. There's no more sailing by the star. What needs the fool, trow? Nothing I, but God send every one their heart's desire. These gloves the Count sent me. They are an excellent perfume. I am stuffed, cousin. I cannot smell. A maid and stuffed? There's goodly catching of cold. Oh, God help me! God help me! How long have you professed apprehension?
Even since you left. Doth not my wit become me, rarely? It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. Oh, by my truth, I'm sick. Get you some of this distilled Cardus Benedictus. Lay it on your heart. Oh, it is the only thing for a qualm. Oh, there thou prickest her with a thistle. Benedictus? Why, Benedictus, is there some moral in this Benedictus? Moral? No. By my troth, I have no moral meaning. I meant plain holy thistle. You may perchance think that I think that you are in love. Nay, by your lady, I am not such a fool to think what I list. Nor I list not to think what I can. Nor indeed, I cannot think.
If I would think my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you will be in love, or that you can be in love, yet Benedick was such another. And now he's become a man. He swore he would never marry, and yet now, in despite of his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be converted I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that the tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedick, Don John, and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help me to dress, good cause, good Meg, good Ursula.
What would you with me, honest neighbour? Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that discerns you nearly. Brief, I pray you, for you see it is a busy time with me. Mary, this is it, sir. Yes, in truth, it is. Sir. What is, my good friends? Goodman Burgess, sir, speaks a little off the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as God help. I would desire they were, but in faith, as honest as the skin between his brows. Yes, I thank God I'm as honest as any man living that is an old man, and no honester than I. Comparisons are odorous, palambrous, neighbour Verges.
Neighbours, you are tedious. It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor Duke's officers. But truly, for mine own part, if I were as tedious as a king, I could find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship. All thy tediousness on me? Yeah, and 'twere 1,000 pound more than 'tis. For I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and though I be but a poor man, I am glad to hear it. And so am I. I would fain know what you have to say. Marry, sir, I'll watch tonight. Accepting your worship's presence, had taken a couple of as errant knaves as any in Messina.
A good old man, sir. He will be talking, as they say when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a world to see. Well said in faith, neighbour Verges. Well, God's a good man, and 2 men ride a horse, 1 must ride behind. An honest soul in faith, sir, by my troth he is, as ever broke bread, but God is to be worshipped. All men are not alike, alas, good neighbour.
Indeed, neighbour, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave.
One word, sir. Our watch, sir, hath indeed comprehended 2 auspicious persons, and we would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take their examination yourself and bring it me. I am now in great haste, as it may appear unto you.
It shall be suffocance.
Drink some wine ere you go. Fare you well.
My lord! Stay! For you to bring your daughter to her husband.
I'll wait upon them. I'm ready.
Go, good partner, go. Get you to Francis Sequel. Bid him bring his pen and inkhorn to the jail. We are now to examination.
And we must do it wisely.
Oh, we will spare no wit, I warrant you, for that is what shall drive them to a non-gub. Only the learned writer to set down our excommunication, and meet me at the jail.
Come, Friar Francis, be brief, only to the plain form of marriage, and you shall recount their particular duties afterwards. You come hither, my lord, to marry this lady?
No.
To be married to her, friar. You come to marry her. Lady, you come to marry this count?
I do.
If either of you have any inward impediment why you should not be co-joined, charge you, on your soul, to utter it.
Know you any hero?
No, my lord, none.
Know you any count? I dare make his answer, none.
Oh, what men dare do!
what men may do and what men daily do, not knowing what they do.
How now? Interjections? Why then, some be of laughing.
Stand thee by, friar. Father, by your leave, will you with free and unconstrained soul give me this maid, your daughter?
As freely, son, as God did give her me.
And what have I to give you back, whose worth may counterpoise this rich and precious gift?
Nothing, unless you render her again.
Sweet prince, you have learned me noble thankfulness. There, Leonato, take her back again.
Give not this rotten orange to your friend. She is but the sign and semblance of her honor. Behold, how like a maid she blushes here. What authority and show of truth can cunning sin cover itself withal? Comes not that blood as modest evidence to witness simple virtue? Would you not swear, all you who see her here, that she were a maid by these exterior shows? But she is none. She knows the heat of a luxurious bed. Her blushing is guiltiness, not modesty.
What do you mean, my lord?
Not to be married, not to knit my soul to an approved wanton. Dear my lord, if you, in your own proof, have vanquished the resistance of her youth and have made defeat of her virginity.
I know what you would say. If I have known her, you will say she did embrace me as a husband, and so extenuate the forehand sin. No, Leonato, I never tempted her with words too large, but as a brother to his sister showed bashful sincerity and comely love.
And seemed I otherwise to you?
Oh, John V. Seeming, I will write against it. You seem to me as Diane in her orb, as chaste as is the bud ere it be blown. But you are more intemperate in your blood than Venus, or those pampered animals that rage in their savage sensuality.
Is my lord well that he doth speak so wide?
Sweet prince, why speak not you?
What should I speak? I stand dishonored, that have gone about to link my dear friend with a common stale.
Are these things spoken, or do I but dream?
Sir, they are spoken, and these things are true.
This looks not like a nuptial.
True, oh God.
Leonato, stand I here? Is this the prince? Is this the prince's brother? Is this face hero's? Are our eyes our own?
All this is so, but what of this, my lord?
Let me but move one question to your daughter, and by that fatherly and kindly power that you have in her, bid her answer truly.
I charge thee do so, as thou art my child.
Oh God, defend me. How am I beset? What kind of catechizing call you this?
Do make you answer truly to your name.
Is it not Hero? Who can blot that name with any just reproach?
Marry, that can Hero. Hero itself can blot out Hero's virtue. What man was he talked with you yesternight, out at your window, betwixt 12 and 1? Now, if you are a maid, answer to this.
I talked with no man at that hour, my lord.
Why, then you are no maiden. Leonato, I am sorry you must hear. Upon mine honor, myself, my brother, and this grieved count did see her, hear her, at that hour last night, talk with a ruffian at her chamber window, who hath indeed, most like a liberal villain, confess it, the vile encounters they have had 1,000 times in secret.
Fie. They are not to be named, my lord, not to be spoke of. There is not chastity enough in language without offense to utter them. Thus, pretty lady, I am sorry for thy much misgovernment. O hero, what a hero had thou been, if half thy outward graces had been placed about thy thoughts and counsels of thy heart. But fare thee well, most foul, most fair. Farewell, thou pure impiety and impious purity. For thee, I'll lock up the gates of love, and on my eyelids shall conjecture hang to turn all beauty into thoughts of harm, and never shall it be more gracious. Hath no man's dagger here a point for me? How now, cousin, wherefore sink you down? Come, let us go. These things come thus to light, and smother her spirits up.
How doth the lady? Dead, I think. Help, uncle! Hero! Why, hero! Uncle, Signor Benedick, friar! O fate, take not away thy heavy hand. Death is the fairest cover for her shame that may be wished for. How now, cousin Hero? Have comfort, lady. Dost thou look up? Yea, wherefore should she not? Wherefore? Why, doth not every earthly thing cry shame upon her? Could she here deny the story that is printed in her blood? Do not live, hero. Do not ope thine eyes. For did I think thou wouldst not quickly die, thought I thy spirits were stronger than thy shames, myself would, in the rearward of reproaches, strike at thy life.
Grieved I had but one? Chid I for that at frugal nature's frame? Oh, one too much by thee. Why had I one? Why ever wast thou lovely in mine eyes? Why had I not, with charitable hand, took up a beggar's issue at my gates? Who, smirched thus and mired with infamy, I might have said, no part of it is mine. This shame derives from unknown loins. But mine, and mine I loved, and mine I praised, and mine that I was proud on, mine so much that I myself was to myself not mine, valuing of her. Why, she, oh, she is fallen into a pit of ink, that the wide sea hath drops too few to wash her clean again, and salt too little that may season give to her foul, tainted flesh.
Sir, be patient. For my part, I am so attired in wonder, I know not what to say.
Oh, on my soul, my cousin is belied.
Lady, were you her bedfellow last night?
No, truly not, although until last night I have this 12-month been her bedfellow.
Confirmed. Oh, that is stronger made, which was before barred up with ribs of iron. Would the two princes lie, and Claudio lie, who loved her so that, speaking of her foulness, washed it with tears? Hence from her, let her die.
Hear me a little, for I have only been silent so long, and given way unto this course of fortune, by noting of the lady I have marked 1,000 blushing apparitions to start into her face, 1,000 innocent shames in angel whiteness beat away those blushes.
And in her eye there hath appeared a fire to burn the errors that these princes hold against her maiden truth. Call me a fool. Trust not my reading, nor my observations, which with experimental seal doth warrant the tenor of my book. Trust not my age, my reverence, calling, nor divinity, if this sweet lady lie not guiltless here under some biting error. Friar, it cannot be. Thou seest that all the grace that she hath left is that she will not add to her damnation a sin of perjury. She not denies it. Why seek thou then to cover with excuse that which appears in proper nakedness? Lady, what man is he you are accused of?
They know that to accuse me, I know none.
If I know more of any man alive than that which maiden modesty doth warrant, let all my sins lack mercy. O my father, prove you that any man with me conversed at hours unmet, or that I yesternight maintained the change of words with any creature, refuse me, hate me, torture me to death. There is some strange misprison in the princes. 2 of them have the very bent of honour, and in their wisdoms be misled in this. The practice of it lives in John the Bastard, whose spirits toil in frame of villainy.
I know not. If they speak but truth of her, these hands shall tear her. If they wrong her honour, the proudest of them shall well hear of it.
You're blue.
Time hath not yet so dried this blood of mine, nor age so eat up my invention, nor fortune made such havoc of my means, nor my bad life reft me so much of friends. But they shall find a weight in such a kind, both strength of limb and policy of mind, ability of means, and choice of friends, to quit me of them thoroughly. Pause a while, and let my counsel sway you in this case. Your daughter here, the princess, left for dead. Let her a while be secretly kept in, and publish it that she is dead indeed. Maintain a mourning ostentation, and under families of monument, hang mournful epitaphs, and do all rites that appertain unto a burial. What shall become of this? What will this do?
Mary, this well carried shall on her behalf change slander to remorse. That is some good. But not for that dream I on this strange course, but on this travail look for greater birth. She dying, as it must so be maintained, upon the instant she was accused, shall be lamented, pitied, and excused of every hearer. For it so falls out that what we have we prize not to the worth whiles we enjoy it, but being lacked and lost, why then we rack the value. Then we find the virtue that possession would not show us whiles it was ours. So will it fare with Claudio. When he shall hear she died upon his words, the idea of her life shall sweetly creep into his study of imagination,
and every lovely organ of her life shall come apparelled in more precious habit, more moving, delicate, and full of life into the eye and prospect of his soul than when she lived indeed. Then shall he mourn, if ever love had interest in his liver, and wish he had not so accused her, no, though he thought his accusation true. Let this be so, and doubt not but success will fashion the event in better shape than I can lay it down in likelihood. But if all aim but this be levelled false, the supposition of the lady's death will quench the wonder of her infamy. And if it sort not well, you may conceal her, as best befits her wounded reputation, in some reclusive and religious life, out of all eyes, tongues, minds, and injuries.
Signor Leonardo, let the friar advise you, and though you know my inwardness and love is very much unto the prince and Claudio, yet by mine honor I will deal in this as secretly and justly as your soul should with your body. Being that I flow in grief, the smallest twine may lead me. 'Tis well consented. Presently away, for 2 strange sores strangely they strain the cure. Come, my lady, die to live. This wedding day perhaps is but prolonged. Have patience and endure. Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while? Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that. You have no reason. I do it freely. Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her? Is there any way to show such friendship? A very even way, but no such friend. May a man do it? It is a man's office, but not yours. I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange? As strange as the thing I know not. It were as possible for me to say I loved nothing so well as you, but believe me not. And yet I lie not. I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest, I love thee.
What? God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it, with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell!
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone. Though I am here, there is no love in you. May I pray you let me go?
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy?
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height a villain that hath slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What, bear her in hand until they come to take hands, and then, with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor?
Oh God, that I were a man, I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window? A proper saying.
Nay, but Beatrice.
Sweet hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beat.
Princes and counties. Surely a princely testimony, a goodly count confect, a sweet canon, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too.
He is now as valiant as Hercules, that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, good Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think you in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero?
Ye, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. I will kiss your hand, and so I leave you. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead, and so, farewell.
Is our whole assembly appeared?
Oh, a stool and a cushion for the sexton.
Which be the malefactors?
Mary, that I am, and my partner.
Nay, that's certain. We have the exhibition to examine.
But which are the offenders that are to be examined? Let them come before Master Constable.
Ye, Mary, let them come before me. What is your name, friend?
Baraccio.
Pray, write down Baraccio. You're, sir?
I am a gentleman, sir, and my name is Conrad.
Write down Master Gentleman Conrad. Masters, do you serve God?
Yea, sir, we hope.
Write down that they hope they serve God. And write God first. For God defend, but God should go before such villains. . 'Tis
Masters, it is proved already that you are little better than false knaves, and will go near to be thought so shortly. How answer you for yourselves? Marry, sir, I say we are none. A marvellous witty fellow, I assure you, but I will go about with him. Come you hither, sirrah. A word in your ear, sir. I say to you, it is thought you are false knaves. Sir, I say to you, we are none. Well, stand aside. For God, they are both in a tale. Have you written down that they are none? Master Constable, you go not the way to examine. You must call forth the watch that are their accusers. Yea, marry, that's the deftest way. Let the watch come forth. Masters, I told you in the prince's name, accuse these men.
This man said, sir, that Don John, the prince's brother, was a villain. Write down Prince John a villain. Why, this is flat perjury to call the prince's brother villain. Master Constable. Pray thee, fellow, peace. I do not like thy look, I promise thee. What heard you say him else? Marry, that he had received 1,000 ducats of Don John for accusing the lady hero wrongfully. Flat burglary as ever was committed. Yea, by mass that it is. What else, fellow? And that Count Claudio did mean upon his words to disgrace hero before the whole assembly, and not marry her. O villain, thou shalt be condemned into everlasting redemption for this. What else?
This is all. And this is more, masters, than you can deny. Prince John is this morning secretly stolen away. Hero was in this manner accused, in this very manner refused, and upon the grief of this suddenly died. Master Constable, let these men be bound and brought to Leonato's. I will go before and show him their examination.
Come, let them be opinioned, let them be in the hands. God's my life, where's the sexton? Let him write down the prince's officer coxcomb. Come, bind them, thou naughty varlet. Dost thou not suspect my place? Dost thou not suspect my years? Oh, that he were here to write me down, an ass.
But masters, remember that I am an ass. Though it not be written down, yet forget not that I am an ass. No, thou villain, thou art full of piety, as shall be proved upon thee by good witness. I am a wise fellow, and which is more, an officer, and which is more, a householder, and which is more, as pretty a piece of flesh as any is in Messina, and one that knows the law. Go to, and a rich fellow in us, go to, and a fellow that hath had losses, and one that hath 2 gowns, and everything handsome about him. Bring him away. Oh, that I had been writ down an ass.
If you go on thus, you will kill yourself, and 'tis not wisdom thus to second grief against yourself. I pray thee, cease thy counsel, which falls into my ears as profitless as water in a sieve. Give not me counsel, nor let no comforter delight mine ear, but such a one whose wrongs do suit with mine. Bring me a father that so loved his child, whose joy of hers overwhelmed like mine, and bid him speak of patience. Measure his woe the length and breadth of mine, and let it answer every strain for strain, as thus for thus, and such a grief for such, in every lineament, branch, shape, and form. If such a one will smile and stroke his beard, bid sorrow wag, cry hem when he should groan, patch grief with proverbs, makes misfortune drunk with candle wasters.
Bring him yet to me, and I of him will gather patience. But there is no such man, for, brother, men can counsel and speak comfort to that grief which they themselves not feel, but tasting it, their counsel turns to passion, which before would give a precipital medicine to rage, fetter strong madness in a silken thread, charm ache with air, and agony with words. No, no, 'tis all men's office to speak patient to those that wring under the load of sorrow, but no man's virtue nor sufficiency to be so moral when he shall endure the like himself. Therefore give me no counsel. My griefs cry louder than advertisement.
There is a man that shall enough endeavor.
I pray thee, peace.
I will be flesh and blood, for there was never yet philosopher that could endure the toothache patiently, however they have writ the style of gods and made a push at chance and sufferance. Yet venge not all the harm upon yourself. Make those that do offend you suffer too. There thou speakest reason. Nay, I will do so. My soul doth tell me Hero is belied, and that shall Claudio know. So shall the prince, and all of them that thus dishonor her. Here comes the prince and Claudio hastily. Good den, good den. Good day to both of you. Hear you, my lords, we have some haste, Leonato. Some haste, my lord. Well, fare you well, my lord. Are you so hasty now? Well, all is one. Nay, do not quarrel with us, good old man. If he could right himself with quarreling, some of us would lie low.
Who wrongs him? Marry, thou dost wrong me, thou dissembler. Nay, never lay thy hand upon thy sword. I fear thee not. Marry, beshrew my hand if it should give your age such cause of fear. In faith, my hand bent nothing towards my sword. Tush, tush, man, never fleer and jest at me. I speak not like a dotard, nor a fool, as under privilege of age to brag. What have I done, being young? Or what would I do, were I not old? Now, Claudio, to thy head, thou hast wronged mine innocent child and me, that I am forced to lay my reverence by. And with grey hairs and bruise of many days do challenge thee to trial of man. I say, thou hast beguiled mine innocent child, thy slander hath gone through and through hard.
And she lies buried with her ancestors, oh, in a tomb where scandal never slept, save this of hers, framed by thy villainy.
My villainy?
Thine, Claudio, thine, I say.
You say not right, old man.
My lord, I'll prove it on his body if he dare, despite his nice frame and his active practice, his May of youth and bloom of lustihood.
Away, I will not have to do with you.
Canst thou so daff me? You have killed my child. If thou killest me, thou shalt kill a man.
He shall kill two of us, and men indeed. But that's no matter. Let him kill one first. Win me and wear me. Let him answer me. Come, follow me, boy. Come, sir boy. Come, follow me.
Sir boy, I'll whip you from your fining fence. May, as I am a gentleman, I will. Brother, content yourself. God knows I loved my niece, and she's dead. slandered to death by villains. The deer as well answered a man indeed, as I dare take a serpent by the tongue. Boys, apes, braggarts, jacks, milksops. Brother Anthony, hold you content. What? Man! I know them, yeah, and what they be. Even to the utmost scruffle, scrambling, out-facing, fashion-monging boys that lie and cog and flout, deprave and slander, go antiquely, show outward hideousness and speak of half a dozen dangerous words, how they might hurt their enemies if they durst. And this is all. Brother,
Gentlemen, both, we will not await your patience. My heart is sorry for your daughter's death. But on my honor, she was charged with nothing but what was true and very full of proof.
My lord, my lord.
Pedro said, I will not hear you. Then Leonardo said, no, come brother, away. I will be heard.
See, here comes the man we went to seek.
Now, senor, what news?
Good day, my lord.
Oh. Oh.
Leonardo and his brother, what thinkest thou? And before I doubt we should have been too young for them.
In a false quarrel there is no true valor. I came to seek you both.
We've been up and down to seek thee, for we are high-proof melancholy, and would fain have it beaten away. Wilt thou use thy wit?
It is in my scabbard. Shall I draw it?
Never any did so, though very many have been beside their wit. I will bid thee draw, as we do the minstrels, draw to pleasure us. What courage, man! What though care kill the cat, thou hast metal enough in thee to kill care.
Sir, I shall meet your wit in the career. You charge it against me? I pray you choose another subject.
Nay, then give him another staff. This last was broke across.
By this light, he changes more and more. I think he be angry indeed. If he be, he knows how to turn his girdle. Shall I speak a word in your ear? God bless me from a challenge. You are a villain, I jest not. I will make it good how you dare, with what you dare, and when you dare. Do me right, or I shall protest your cowardice. You killed the sweet lady, and her death will fall heavy on you. Let me hear from you. Well, I will meet you so that I may have good cheer. What? A feast? A feast? The faith, I thank him. He hath me to be at a calf's head and a capon, the which I do not carve out curiously. Say my knife is not. Shall I find a woodcock too? Your wit ambles well. It goes easily.
I'll tell thee how Beatrice praised thy wit the other day. I said, thou hast a fine wit. True, said she, a fine little one. No, said I, a great wit. Right, said she, a great gross one. Nay, said I, a good wit. Just, said she, it hurts nobody. Nay, said I, the gentleman is wise. Certain, said she, a wise gentleman. Nay, said I, he hath tongues. That I believe, said she, for he swore a thing to me on Monday night, which he forswore on Tuesday morning. There's a double tongue, there's two tongues. Thus did she an hour together transshape thy particular virtues. Yet, at last, she concluded with a sigh, thou wast the properest man in Italy. For the which she wept heartily, and said she cared not.
Yea, that she did. But yet for all that, and if she did not hate him deadly, she would love him dearly. The old man's daughter told us all.
All, and moreover God saw him when he was hid in the garden.
But when shall we set the savage bull's horns on the sensible Benedick's head?
Yeah, and text underneath here dwells Benedick, the married man.
Very well, boy, you know my mind. I will leave you now to your gossip-like humor. You break jest as braggarts do their blades, which God be thanked, hurt not. My lord, for your many courtesies, I thank you. I must discontinue your company. Your brother, the bastard, is fled from Messina. You have among you killed a sweet and innocent lady. For my lord Blackbeard there, he and I shall meet. Till then, peace be with him.
He is in earnest, in most profound earnest, and, I'll warrant you, for the love of Beatrice, and hath challenged thee most sincerely. What a pretty thing man is when he goes in his doublet and hose, and leaves off his wit. He is then a giant to an ape, but then is an ape a doctor to such a man. But soft you, let me be. Pluck up my heart, and be sad. Did he not say my brother was fled? Come you, sir. If justice cannot tame you, she shall ne'er weigh more reasons in her balance. Nay, and you be a cursing hypocrite once. You must be looked to. How now? 2 of my brother's men bound, Baraccio 1. Hearken after their offence, my lord.
Officers, what offence have these men done? Marry, sir, they have committed false report. Moreover, they have spoken untruths. Secondarily, they are slanders. 6th and lastly, they have belied a lady. Thirdly, they have verified unjust things, and to conclude, they are lying knaves. First, I ask thee what they have done. Thirdly, I ask thee what's their offence. 6th and lastly, why they are committed, and to conclude what you lay to their charge. Rightly reasoned and in his own division, and by my troth there's one meaning well suited. Who have you offended, masters, that you're thus bound to your answer? This learned constable is too cunning to be understood. What's your offence?
Sweet prince, let me go no farther to mine answer. Do you hear me? And let this count kill me. I have deceived even your very eyes. Your wisdoms could not discover these shallow fools have brought to light, who in the night overheard me confessing to this man how Don John, your brother, incensed me to slander the lady hero. How you were brought into the orchard and saw me court Margaret in hero's garments. How you disgraced her when you should marry her. My villainy they have upon record, which I had rather seal with my death than repeat over to my shame. The lady is dead upon mine and my master's false accusation. Briefly, I desire nothing but the reward of a villain.
Runs not this speech like iron through your blood?
I have drunk poison whilst he uttered it.
But did my brother set thee on to this?
Yea, and paid me richly for the practice of it.
He is composed and framed of treachery, and fled he is upon this villainy.
Sweet hero, now thy image doth appear in the rare semblance that I loved it first.
Come, bring away the plaintiffs. By this time our sexton hath informed Signor Leonato of the matter. And masters, do not forget to specify, when time and place shall serve, that I am an ass!
Here comes Master Signor Leonato, and the sexton too.
Which is the villain? Let me see his eyes, that when I note another man like him, I may avoid him. Which of these is he? If you would know your wronger, look on me. Art thou the slave that with my breath thou hast killed mine innocent child? Yea, even I alone. No, not so, villain. Thou beliest thyself. Here stand a pair of honourable men. A third is fled, that had a hand in it. I thank you, princess, for my daughter's death. Record it with your high and worthy deeds. 'Twas bravely done, if you bethink you of it. I know not how to pray your patience.
Choose your revenge yourself. Impose me to what penance your invention can lay upon my sin. Yet sinned I not but in mistaking, by my soul nor I. And yet to satisfy this good old man, I would bend under any heavy weight that he'll enjoin me to. I cannot bid you bid my daughter live, that were impossible. But I pray you both, possess the people in Messina here how innocent she died. And if your love can labour aught in sad invention, hang an epitaph upon her tomb, and sing it to her bones. Sing it tonight. Tomorrow morning come you to my house, and since you could not be my son-in-law, be yet my nephew.
My brother hath a daughter, almost a copy of my child, that's dead, and she alone is heir to us both. Give her the right you should have given to her cousin, and so dies my revenge. O noble sir, your overkindness doth wring tears from me. I do embrace your author, and dispose for henceforth for Claudio. Tomorrow then I expect your coming, tonight I take my leave. This naughty man shall face to face be brought to Margaret, who I believe was packed into all of this wrong, hired to it by your brother.
No, by my soul she was not, nor knew not what she did when she spoke to me, but always hath been just and virtuous in anything that I do know by her.
Moreover, third, which indeed is not under white and black, the plaintiff here, the offender, did call me ass. I beseech you, let it be remembered in his punishment. And also, the watch heard them talk of one deformed. They say he wears a key in his ear, and a lock hanging by it, and borrows money in God's name, the which he hath used so long, and never paid, that now men grow hard-hearted, and will lend nothing for God's sake. I pray you, examine him upon that point. I thank thee for thy care and honest pains. Your worship speaks like a most thankful and reverend youth, and I praise God for you. There's for thy pains. God save the foundation.
Go. I discharge you of this prisoner, and I thank you.
I leave an errant knave with your worship, which I beseech your worship to correct yourself for the example of others. God keep your worship. I wish your worship well. God restore your health. I humbly give you leave to depart, and if a merry meeting may be wished, God prohibit it. Come now, neighbor.
Until tomorrow morning, my lords, farewell. Farewell, my lords. We look for you tomorrow. We will not fail. Tonight, I'll mourn with Hero. Bring you these fellows on. We'll talk with Margaret. How her acquaintance grew with this lewd fellow.
Pray thee, sweet Mistress Margaret, deserve well at my hands by helping me to the speech of Beatrice. Will you then write me a sonnet in praise of my beauty, in so high a style, Margaret, that no man living shall come over it, for, in most comely truth, thou deservest it. To have no man come over me, why, shall I always keep below stairs? Thy wit is as quick as the greyhound's mouth it catches, and yours as blunt as the fencer's foils, which hit, but hurt not. A most manly wit, Margaret, it will not hurt a woman, and so, I pray thee, call Beatrice, I give thee the bucklers. Give us the swords, we have bucklers of our own. If you use them, Margaret, you must put in the pikes with a vice, and they are dangerous weapons for maids.
Will come. Let's see here. The God of love that sits above and knows me, how pitiful I deserve. I mean, in singing. And loving Leander the good swimmer, Troilus the first employer of panders, and a whole bookful of these quondam carpetmongers whose names yet run smoothly in the even road of a blank verse. Why, they were never so truly turned over and over as my poor self in love. Mary, you cannot show it in rhyme. I have tried. I can find out no rhyme for lady, but baby. An innocent rhyme. For scorn, horn. A hard rhyme. For school, fool. A babbling rhyme. Very ominous endings.
No, I was not born under a rhyming planet. Nor I cannot ruin a festival of terms. Sweet Beatrice, wouldst thou come when I call thee?
Yea, Senor, and depart when you bid me.
Oh, stay but till then.
Then is spoken, fare you well. And yet, ere I go, let me go with that I came, which is, knowing what have passed between you and Claudio.
Only foul words, and thereupon I will kiss thee.
Foul words is but foul wind, and foul wind is foul breath, and foul breath is noisome. Therefore I will depart unkissed.
Thou hast frighted the word out of its right sense, so forcible is thy wit. But I must tell thee plainly, Claudio undergoes my challenge, and either I must shortly hear from him, or I will subscribe him a coward. And, I pray thee now, tell me, for which of my bad parts didst thou first fall in love with me? For them altogether, which maintain so politic a state of evil that they will not admit any good part to intermingle with them. But for which of my good parts did you first suffer love for me? Suffer love, a good epithet. I do suffer love indeed, for I love thee against my will. In spite of your heart, I think. Alas, poor heart, if you spite it for my sake, I will spite it for yours, for I will never love that which my friend hates.
Thou and I are too wise to woo peaceably.
It appears not in this confession. There's not one wise man among 20 that will praise himself.
An old instance, Beatrice, that lived in the lime of good neighbors. If a man do not erect in this age his own tomb, ere he dies, he shall live no longer in monument than the bell rings and the widow weeps.
And how long is that, think you?
Question. Why an hour in clamor and a quarter in room? Therefore, is it most expedient for the wise, if Don Worm his conscience find no impediment to the contrary, to be the trumpet of his own virtues, as I am to myself. So much for praising myself, who, I myself bear witness, is praiseworthy. And now tell me, how doth your cousin?
Very ill.
And how do you?
very ill too. Serve God, love me and mend. Then there will I leave you two, for here comes one in haste.
Madam, you must come to your uncle. Yonder's old coil at home. It is proved my lady hero hath been falsely accused, the prince and Claudio mightily abused, and Don John is the author of all, who is fled and gone. Will you come presently?
Will you go hear this news, Senor?
I will live in thy heart, die in thy lap, and be buried in thy eyes, and moreover I will go with thee to thy uncle's.
Is this the monument of Leonardo?
It is, my lord.
Done to death by slanderous tongues was the hero that here lies. Death, in guerdon of her wrongs, gives her fame which never dies. So the life that died with shame lives in death with glorious fame. Hang thou there upon the tomb, praising her when I am dumb. Now music sound, and sing your solemn hymn. Pardon, goddess of the night, those that slew thy virgin night. For the witch with songs of woe round about her tomb they go. Midnight, assist our moan. Help us to sigh and groan. Heavily, heavily, graves yawn, and heal your dead till death be uttered heavily, heavily.
Now unto thy bones good night. Yearly will I do this right. Good morrow, masters, put your torches out. The wolves have preyed, and look, the gentle day before the wheels of Phoebus round about dapples the drowsy cast with spots of grey. Thanks to you all, and leave us. Fare you well. Good morrow, masters, each his several way. Come, let us hence, and put on other weeds, and then to Leonato's we will go. And Hymen now with luckier issue speeds than this for whom we rendered up this woe.
Did I not tell you she was innocent? So are the prince and Claudio, who accused her upon the error that you heard debated. But Margaret was in some fault for this, although against her will, as it appears in the true course of all the question. Well, I am glad that all things sort so well. And so am I, being else by faith enforced to call young Claudio to a reckoning for it. Well, daughter, and you gentlewomen all, withdraw into a chamber by yourselves, and when I send for you, come hither masked. The prince and Claudio promised by this hour to visit me. You know your office, brother. You must be father to your brother's daughter, and give her to young Claudio.
Which I will do with confirmed countenance. Friar, I must entreat your pains, I think. To do what, signor? To bind me, or undo me, one of them. Signor Leonato, truth is, good signor, your niece regards me with an eye of favor. That I my daughter lent her, 'tis most true. And I do, with an eye of love, requite her. The sight whereof I think you had from me, from Claudio and the prince, but what is your will? Your answer, sir, is enigmatical. But for my will is goodwill, may stand with ours this day to be conjoined in the state of honorable marriage, to which, good friar, I shall desire your help. My heart is with your liking, and my help. Here come the prince and Claudio.
Good morrow to the fair assembly. Good morrow, Prince. Good morrow, Claudio. We here attend you. Are ye determined to marry with my brother's daughter? I'll hold my mind were she an Ethiop. Call her forth, brother. Here's the friar ready. Oh, good morrow, Benedick. Why, what's the matter? That you have such a February face, so full of frost, of storm and cloudiness. I think he thinks upon the savage bull. Tush, fear not, man. We'll tip thy horns with gold, and all Europa shall rejoice at thee, as once Europa did at lusty Jove, where he would play the noble beast in love.
Bull job, sir, had an amiable low, and some strange bull leaped your father's cow, and got a calf in that same noble feat, much like to you, for you have just his bleat. For this I owe you, here comes other reckonings. This same is she, and I do give you her. Why, then she is mine. Sweet, let me see your face. Know that you shall not till you take her hand before this friar and swear to marry her. Give me your hand before this holy friar. I am your husband, if you like of me. And when I lived, I was your other wife. And when you loved, you were my other husband. Another hero?
Nothing certainter. One hero died defiled, but I do live. And surely as I live, I am a maid.
The former hero. The hero that is dead.
She died, my lord, but whilst her slander lived.
All this amazement can I qualify, when after that the holy rites are ended, I'll tell you largely of fair hero's death. Meantime, let wonder seem familiar, and to the chapel let us presently. Soft and fair, friar. Which is Beatrice?
I answer to that name. What is your will?
Do not you love me?
Why, no more than reason.
Why? Then your uncle and the prince and Claudio have been deceived. They swore you did.
Do you not love me?
Troth, no more than reason.
Why, then my cousin Margaret and Ursula are much deceived, for they did swear you did.
They swore that you were almost sick for me.
They swore that you were well nigh dead for me.
'Tis no such matter. Then you do not love me?
No, truly, but in friendly recompense.
Come, cousin, I am sure that you love the gentleman.
And I'll be sworn upon it that he loves her. For here's a paper written in his hand, a halting sonnet of his own pure brain, fashioned to Beatrice.
And here's another, written in my cousin's hand, studded in her pocket, containing her affection unto Benedick. A miracle. Here's our own hands against our hearts. Come, I will have thee, but by this light I take thee for pity.
I would not deny you, but by this good day I yield upon great persuasion, and partly to save your life, for I was told you were in a consumption.
Peace. I will stop your mouth.
How dost thou, Benedick, the married man?
I'll tell thee what, Prince. A college of witcrackers cannot flout me out of my humor. Dost thou think I care for a satire? An epigram? No, if a man will be beaten with brains, he shall wear nothing handsome about him. In brief, since I do purpose to marry, I will think nothing to any purpose that the world can say against it. And therefore never flout at me for what I have said against it, for man is a giddy thing, and this is my conclusion. For thy part, Claudio, I did think to have beaten thee. But in that thou art like to be my kinsman, live unbruised, and love my cousin.
I had well hoped thou wouldst have denied Beatrice, so that I might have cudgelled thee out of thy single life, to make thee a double dealer, which without a question thou wilt be if thy cousin does not look exceedingly narrowly on thee. Come, come, we are friends. Let's have a dance ere we are married, that we may lighten our own hearts and our wives' heels.
We'll have dancing afterward.
First, of my word, therefore, play music. Prince, thou art sad? Get thee a wife, for there is no staff more reverend than one tipped with horn. My lord, your brother John is taken in flight with armed men back to Messina. Think not on him till tomorrow. I'll devise the brave punishments for him. Strike up, pipers!